It is easy to be all chill when you're being all chill. It's easy to relax and let all the cares and concerns of the world drift away when you're on vacation, sitting in the beach chair with your toes in the sand and a warm breeze coming off the sea. And in those moments, it's easy to just get so relaxed and realize that we let so much pettiness bother us. We get stressed out over things that don't really matter, and we make ourselves a promise. We tell ourselves, when I come back, I'm going to take this mindset with me. I'm going to take vacation me back, and I'm not going to let all the little things bother me. I'm going to stay relaxed. And then we do the same with our spirituality. When we're in our spiritual space, when we're on that nice, long, contemplative walk, locked in our meditation, alone in the evening with our rosary, centered on our yoga mat, or whatever you do to unite yourself with God. In those places, it's pretty easy to have a loving heart, a merciful heart, to connect with the Creator and all creation, to be filled with empathy and compassion. And we say to ourselves, I'm going to take this heart with me into the day. And then, one of the really fascinating things about this story of the temptations of Jesus is that they come at the end of his 40 days. He spends 40 days in the desert. And the temptations come at the end, when he's finished, when he's leaving, on his way out. That's when we all become vulnerable. When we all get set to leave that space and enter back into the everyday. We, just like Jesus, find ourselves tempted to leave that heart behind and become preoccupied with self-centeredness, self-concern, self-promotion. Evil has this way. And whether we call it evil or darkness or Satan or the devil or whatever language we assign to this force, it has this way of grabbing us when we're vulnerable in transition, of tempting us then to leave our spiritual centeredness in a box, on a shelf, in the closet. And we can go back there, and we can take it out, and we can spend some time with it, as long as we leave it there and don't bring it out into the world, to open our hearts out and be vulnerable and let the world see who we really are deep in our own souls, to share that openness. We all struggle with this. This is part of our story. We come and we gather together for Mass. We come in the church and we have really good hearts. And we reach out to one another with a sign of peace. And we look each other in the eye and we mean it. We feel warm and we really mean it. And then, before we're even out of the parking lot, we're complaining about the song choice, or gossiping about what someone wore, or rolling our eyes in derision because Deacon Steve wore jeans under his alb. Do you see how quickly and readily we move from substance to pettiness, from the inner to the outer? How quickly we move from that which brings us closer together in the oneness, united with God, into the smallness and the shallowness of individual opinions and thoughts. We come on Sunday and enter into holy communion with each other, and by Monday we're ready to go to war with our neighbor over her yard sign. The ultimate temptation is to live a divided life in which the spiritual me is separate from the rest of me. To divide the depth of the inner self with the thoughts and stresses of the outer self. To create that separation. And when we do, we leave behind the peace, the tranquility, the harmony, the joy, the love, and instead end up living lives of stress and anxiety and blame. This whole spirituality business, faith, God, none of it's intended to be an escape from the world. It's certainly not intended to protect us from the world. Goodness, it didn't protect Jesus, or Peter, or Paul, or St. Stephen, or St. Sebastian, or St. Joan of Arc, or countless others. No. It's not intended to be an escape or a protection from the world. It's meant to form, oftentimes reform, our minds, our hearts, and our souls, so that we might embrace all of God's creation in wholeness.